Hello, and welcome to Philosophy 101 Introduction to Logic. My name is Mia Wood. I am a part time instructor at the University of Rhode Island, and I am looking forward to working with you this spring semester. It's 2021. I'm very excited that we get to start off a new year together, and I'm hoping that you are safe and well and that we can resume some semblance of what we have historically thought of as a normal life very soon. But I hope that our lives are improved both by the vaccine as well as by steps that we take to make our lives both for ourselves and each other better. We can always improve, and to that end, we are going to study the principles and techniques of good reasoning. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the course. And then we'll get into the details as we go along in the over the course of our semester. What do we do in a course like this? Well, we take the time, and it's always a good time, but especially I think given recent events, to study argumentation. More specifically, we study what an argument is, principles of good reasoning, as well as techniques for identifying, constructing, and evaluating arguments. So we want to be able to become very proficient in these areas because we spend a good part of every day engaged in reasoning, both the production of arguments as well as the identification and evaluation of arguments. So having a toolkit, if you will, for good reasoning is incredibly important for us. We are going to spend our time together engaged in the study of reasoning by way of reading a text that is provided to you. So there's nothing for you to purchase. You will also engage in discussion forum posts and peer replies, so you'll be interacting with each other. It's also the case that you will evaluate your own progress, not just by way of engaging with each other in discussion, but also by way of reading quizzes and exams. So more on the details of that stuff a little bit later. Right now, please note that just because we are an online only class, that does not mean that I am not available. I'm with you every step of the way. I have office hours, but I'm also available outside of office hours. So if you have questions, problems, confusions, let me know. I'm here to help. All right, so with that basic information down, let's go ahead and take a look at our course site. We will go over the layout of the course so you can become familiar with the terrain, the territory, and we'll also go over the syllabus. We'll go over where you can find what you need for the course, and that will include the textbook. That will include assessments like discussion forum links, quiz links, and so forth. So I hope it's the case that when we're done with this video, you'll have a good idea of what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, why we're going to do it, and where we're going to do it. Let's get started. Okay, here we are on our course homepage. The layout, I hope, is clear, accessible. The ribbon of links at the top of our course page is just the default. I haven't messed about with it. So if your other instructors are taking the same approach, then that should look pretty much the same across your courses. Then the way that I've laid out our landing page is as follows. You've got basically a list of links from that you can use to navigate initially. Obviously, you can use this top uh, ribbon of links as well, whichever works for you. Right now, there are no announcements. That's because the first announcement you'll see is the one announcing this video that you're watching. So we'll have announcements here on the right, and then our calendar where you can see what's coming due. So let me give you a brief tour. When we're done, if you have questions, problems, confusions, let me know. I'm here to help. First, we have our syllabus and course fact page. So pretty much, I hope it's the case, all questions are answered here. But again, if there's something that you're looking for that I haven't addressed, by all means, let me know. Then we have our textbook, workbook, and answer keys. Good news, folks, there is no textbook to buy. I provide it to you along with practice for the material in the textbook and answer keys and discussions. And I'll show you the details of this in a little bit. Next, we have videos that are relevant to the material that we cover. These videos are optional. You might decide that you prefer watching videos to reading the text at least first. So you might say, I'm going to watch a video and then I'm going to look at the relevant, parts of the text. Or you might say, I don't like watching videos or listening to them, so I'm just going to focus on the text. I don't know what your learning style is, so I want to give you as many resources as possible to try to cover all the bases. Then we have our link for a general course discussion forum, as well as a link to office hours. More on that soon. And then we have our weeks laid out one on top of the other. And then at the bottom of the page, we have our retests and extra credit quizzes. So I'll go over all that in a minute. Let's start with our syllabus. So the syllabus should be pretty boilerplate. We've got the standard verbiage here about what's involved in the course. And then if we scroll toward the bottom, we get to the schedule, right? And you'll notice, I hope anyway, that the way that the schedule is laid out here comports nicely with the way that the schedule is laid out on Brightspace. But let me scroll back up here because I think we'll get to what is probably uppermost in your mind, namely how are we working? Well, as you know, we have a textbook. You're going to want to read. You're going to want to practice, check your practice, and then you will want to take quizzes. The quizzes are all true, false, multiple choice. The quizzes are there to get you to engage with the text and to get you practicing with the relevant concepts and practicing the relevant skills so that when you are asked to perform them on an exam, you're good to go. The quizzes, we'll talk about due dates and available until dates in a little bit, but there's a lot of wiggle room in terms of when you can complete quizzes and exams. There are also extra credit quizzes, and then there are also retests. So if you, let's say on exam 2, you've done well, but you want to reinforce the skills that you were practicing, you might decide to retest exam 2. There's no penalty if your exam 2 retest score is lower than the original, although I would expect it to be higher. I take the best of the 2 scores. So I work at making sure that you don't feel super pressured if the first go round on an exam is not your best, then you can retest. Or if you want to do over just because you want to make sure that you've got the concepts, the content knowledge and the skills in hand, retest is great. In addition, the quizzes are there. The extra credit quizzes are there to give you more practice and to help your overall quiz score. The only writing you're going to do is in the discussion forums. And there I ask you to engage with concepts and to practice with skills and to interact with your classmates. I ask you to home in on, a concept or a skill and discuss it. And that should get you thinking about more broadly the work that we're doing for a given week or within a given chapter. Now, I'll say more in a moment about the due dates and the deadlines. But note that there's wiggle room with respect to those on the quizzes and exams front, less so with discussion forum original posts and peer replies, because I need to be able to, I need to have time to read you and give you some feedback, and do that in a timely fashion in anticipation of, an exam or a quiz. So, sorry, I need to take this out. There's one section of the course that does meet on Fridays, but that's not this course. So I apologize. I thought I had taken that out of this syllabus. It'll be gone by the time you check the syllabus out for yourself. Let's go to the course content page. So we could go to the course homepage. That's where we started, but let's go to the content page, just because it's another way for you to navigate around our course. And you can see that we've got, if we scroll on down, we've got the links to all of our materials. We could take the table of contents route, and here you can see we scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and we see, basically the same thing, just in a slightly different layout. So notice, we were just on the syllabus. The fact page should give you also some valuable information. So check that out if you have questions. Here is one way that you can access your textbook, the workbooks, and the answer keys. I've laid out the textbook chapter by chapter. So chapter 1, workbook, answer keys. Chapter 2, workbook, answer keys, and so forth. But you will also notice, I'm going to just scroll down to week 1 resources. Those items are listed and linked within the resources page. Okay. I'm going to go back to the table of contents. You could just page forward or backward if you want, but this is a little faster to get us back to the main course content page by way of table of contents. Notice also, like I said, that we have videos that are organized according to our chapters. If you learn by way of listening to and watching the material rather than reading it, then the videos should be very helpful to you. But I still think you should consult the readings, because those will be ultimately in some way, the readings will ultimately be more, comprehensive than any one video is. And then we've got our questions, problems, confusions discussion forum. Post there, and your classmates as well as I will, I hope, get back with you in a timely fashion. So, if you've got an item that's not pressing, or maybe you want to set up a study group or something like that, use this forum to do so. And then here's the link to my Monday and Wednesday office hours, right? Obviously, I'm not in them right now. At least I don't think I am. Today is Friday, so no, I'm not. And there I am waiting for you. All right, so if you can't make office hours, don't worry. We can find another time to meet. Okay, so let's go to the layout. Every week is laid out the same way. So we've got our learning objectives, and then if you page forward, you'll get to our resources. remember what I said earlier, the material that we're studying is linked within a given module, right? So you get the entirety of chapter 2 here. I don't know why I linked it with chapter 2. No, it should be chapter 1 because we're doing chapter 1, section 1. But the entirety of the chapter is linked. So did I link the right? Yeah, I linked the wrong one. I'll fix it. No worries. Where were we? We were in resources. And then we've got our videos that are optional. And then if we page forward to assessments, we see for week number 1, there's no assessment. You're just going to get used to the territory that we're covering. You will maybe drop in on office hours. Maybe you will, start working forward. Then we go to week 2, same thing. Objectives, resources, links to what we're covering, right? So here, don't ask me why I keep linking chapter 2. I didn't even notice it, obviously until just now, but I'll fix it. But we've got chapter 1, section 2, and section 3, but the link is to the whole chapter when I fix it. And then, of course, we've got our practice exercises. That just goes to the entirety of that link is to the practice exercises for the whole chapter. You'll just focus on the section in question or sections in question. Same with the exercise keys. So for example, if I click on chapter 1, we get the workbook keys, and it's for the entire, right, the entire chapter. And then if we page forward, we get our first assessments. So this is a good time for me to tell you about the due dates versus deadlines or available until. And by the way, notice that when I click on a link, a new tab opens. So you can always go between the two tabs. This is where we were. This is the link that just opened. So notice here for our first quiz, and this is the same with every quiz, we have a due date and an available until date. Due dates follow the schedule. So when we have a quiz for that's due on a certain week, or let me start over again. When we have a quiz that is associated with material for a given week, it's open for you well in advance of when you'd start working on it, but it's due on the Sunday of the week that it's assigned. Notice though that it doesn't close on that Sunday. It's available until the end of the semester. Now don't let work pile up. That's not a good idea. But if for whatever reason you can't make a due date for a given quiz, don't stress, it'll stay open, okay? The same goes with exams. There's a due date, right? And that's the date for the week that the thing was assigned. And then there's the deadline, which is the end of the semester. Again, don't let things pile up, okay? Not so with the discussion forums. Discussion forums are due. Oh, I've got to link it to the actual discussion. Let me go back. The discussion is, the original post is due on a Saturday. Peer reply is due on a Sunday. The deadline or the available until is only 24 hours later. So whereas quizzes and exams stay open the whole semester, discussion forums don't, and that's so that that work doesn't pile up, which would make impossible or nearly impossible the responsibility or executing the responsibility that I have to read you and comment. Okay, so make sure that your original posts are in by Saturday, and then your peer replies are due on Sunday. But if you're behind schedule, don't worry. You have until the next Monday, the following Monday after the due date to complete the thing. Whew, I hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to go back to our course homepage. As I mentioned, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we've got our link to optional retests and extra credit. This is the easiest way for you to navigate to that to a given retest or extra credit. My advice on the retests is wait until you have either met with me or you have reviewed the original exam and the relevant quizzes before you retest, right? Since the whole point of a retest is to, improve your original score. But even do that if you're pleased with your original score, but you want to retest. In other words, please review and meet with me anyway, just so that you can, reinforce your existing skill set and then improve it on the retest. I hope this gives us a pretty good overview of our course, as well as the procedures for how we will work together, read, or more generally access the materials, practice, and assess ourselves. Let me know if you have any questions, problems, confusions. I'm here to help.